All right, moving on to this, we've been bringing you stories from the Judges' Conference this week. While there are serious issues that have been raised about allegations of judicial capture, there are also some serious concerns around the safety of judges, especially those who handle high-profile cases. We've also seen, some claims through that fake intelligence report that have been doing the rounds. So let's speak now to Senior Magistrate Neelan Karikan, who's the Judicial Officers Association of South Africa President. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Let's start with whether or not, in your view, the conference achieved the desired outcome.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Absolutely. The conference, in my mind, was an overwhelming success. The conference theme, as you will already know, was towards a single judiciary, an effective judiciary, and a fully independent judiciary. This actually follows from our conference that JOASA had in October, which was bridging the judicial divide. And insofar as achieving a unified judiciary, we've made great strides, particularly from the district court to the regional court and now to the high court. The conference ended up on a very strong, very powerful note, and our Chief Justice has done a tremendous job in this regard. And the organizing committee, through our JP, Dunstan Mlambo, was absolutely brilliant. And at the end of this conference, it is very clear that the judiciary is no longer as divided as it might be, in as much as there might be still certain aspects that still might need to be dealt with. However, at the end of this conference, the unity was spectacular. We've got different associations, which includes now an understanding between the Judges Association of South Africa, including the Regional Court Magistrates Association, ARMSA, and JOASA, JOASA being the largest association of judicial officers.
And would you say... And would you say yes, that unity is now going to cut across, as we've seen in some, of the concerns with others who are saying that the divides are quite laid bare, within the judiciary? So do you think that post this, the unity is going to, be witnessed throughout all the sectors?
Absolutely. The hosts were our judges, the High Court judges, and they have clearly embraced the idea of a unified, integrated, single judiciary. And clearly, we have the same issues regarding delinking when it comes to salaries and stepping away from the Independent Remuneration Committee and also from the Department of Justice. We've resolved that there's quite a few resolutions that were taken through the different levels of the judiciary. And the resolutions include that the lower courts now, there's a clear drive that we need to be migrated and moved into under the umbrella of the Office of the Chief Justice. The administration and control of the judiciary should clearly be moved from the Department of Justice. As a separate arm of government, the lower court judiciary, the magistrates in particular, have now been embraced, and the judiciary is speaking with one voice. And aspects of security, of tools of trade. It's so important for us to have a proper, fully functional and independent judiciary. And clearly...
Pardon me for coming in there. You raised something very critical, and yes, you talk about the lower courts falling under, that umbrella. But at the same time, there's the issue around resources and around the resources. You think about researching, for example, to make sure that some of the judgments are penned in time, to make sure that the things that you need, as you say, are the tools of trade, to make not to put you at loggerheads with members of the public who are saying that you're delaying in their judgments, are also quite critical. What happens then in that regard?
Well, what was also highlighted at the conference was the lack of tools of trade. It was clear that one of the obstacles, even in the high courts and the lower courts are also experiencing this, is the lack of capacity. There clearly needs to be much more judges that need to be appointed, and including magistrates. The workload is quite tremendous, and matters are being postponed my understanding is all the way to 2027. And it's not because the judges and the magistrates are not working. It's because the workload has increased. However, the number of judges and magistrates, they have not been effectively increased in numbers. So if you look at the statistics clearly show that all judicial officers are working optimally. And when it comes to tools of trade, there is that lack of budget. And when we move towards the office of the Chief Justice, it's hoped that they will be significantly empowered, and the necessary powers must be able to give sufficient insofar as budgetary issues are concerned.
And are you hoping that, pardon me, are you hoping that also the budgetary issues will also include the safety? Because this has been one of the issues that has been raised as well.
Absolutely. It's one of the resolutions that was taken when it comes to security. Obviously, judges need adequate protection. However, it was clearly highlighted that the lower court judiciary, unfortunately, has zero personal protection. We don't receive any type of subsidy or protection for alarm systems, and when it comes to basics like parking or even walking through the corridors. Some of our courts are structured in such a way that our magistrates particularly have to walk amongst accused persons just to get into the court, and they have to even bump into witnesses. So in that sense, they're largely compromised, and it clearly affects security. I want to raise just one other aspect. Even in our developed courts and built-up areas like in Randburg, just recently, 2 witnesses were shot outside the court, and they were supposed to appear as witnesses in one of those regional court matters. So it needs to be appreciated that the type of nature of work that the magistrates are currently doing, they are quite serious matters. As it is right now, they are even sentencing to life imprisonment. And insofar as quantum amounts are concerned, a lot of the cases, they have unlimited jurisdiction. So when we talk about bridging the judicial gap, ultimately, at some point in time, the discussion on referring to or getting rid of the term magistrate will need to be done. The thinking is we require our magistrates to be referred to as district court judges, and the regional court magistrate should be referred to as regional court judges, just as we have the High Court. We apply the same law. So we want to create unity there.
And I hope we get to speak again, particularly around the safety aspect, because that particular shooting incident at Randburg really raised some serious concern. And as you say, just as you walk through that magistrate's court, you see a magistrate just walking through people that, they're about to appear before, who are about to appear before them. And that really raises some serious safety concerns. But as you say, let's see then what happens over the course of time, especially after these resolutions are taken, and speak again to take stock and see if these things are being done. I feel very awkward having to call you senior magistrate, because you say you must be called district court judges, but I hope that happens soon. Let me thank you so much for your time. That is Senior Magistrate Neelan, Karikan, Judicial Officers Association of South Africa's president.